Alright, so we begin with our hero, Bilbo Baggins. Bilbo Baggins is a hobbit. He is uncourageous, somewhat greedy, a very skillful thief, which that plays a huge part in the story later on. He's very smart, and he's cartographically witty, which means he's very good with maps. Next we have the Herald of the Call, Gandalf. He's very wise, very, very, very old, over 100 years old, and he possesses powerful magical abilities. He is a wizard, obviously. So Bilbo was just sitting outside his house, enjoying the evening, smoking his hobbit pot, and all of a sudden Gandalf shows up. Gandalf then introduces himself with his call to adventure. Crossing the threshold. Bilbo crosses the threshold when he leaves his house and sets out for the adventure with Gandalf and the dwarves. Helpers. Our first helper is Gandalf, who helps by utilizing his magic to bring Bilbo's company out of various dangers, such as the issue with the goblins, as well as settling the feud between the dwarves, wood elves, and men. He reflects Bilbo's wisdom and valor, which Bilbo acquires later on. Our second helper is Thorin, the dwarf. He provides hope by attempting to create plans to get out of tight situations, even though he fails in doing so. He reflects Bilbo's greed when he enforces his ultimate will for the treasure. Our third and last helper is Bard, the human male. He helps by slaying the dragon Smaug, who is also the story's main antagonist. He reflects Bilbo's cunningness. The road of trials. Encounter with the trolls. Bilbo and his party discover a trio of trolls feasting on meat. The dwarves force Bilbo to attempt to steal some of the trolls' food, and ends up getting caught, and almost eaten in doing so. Gandalf saves the day, or night rather, by using his magic to cause the sun to rise, petrifying the trolls into stone. From this, Bilbo learns that taking huge risks can result in a very painful experience, which may or may not include death. Stumbling upon Gollum. Bilbo stumbles and falls into a large cavern while running up a steep hill while escaping the goblins' pursuit. There he finds a creature called Gollum, as well as a magic ring that turns its wearer invisible, no strings attached. Upon meeting Gollum, Bilbo asks him to lead the way out of the cavern, and Gollum agrees to do so if Bilbo loses Gollum's riddle game, which Bilbo wins. Once Gollum realizes Bilbo stole the magic ring, Bilbo puts the ring on and chases Gollum out of the cavern, with Gollum thinking he is chasing Bilbo instead. From this experience, Bilbo learns that taking things that do not belong to him can end with little creatures trying to murder you, sometimes in your sleep. Oh boy. Stinging the spiders. Once after sleeping in the forest, Bilbo finds himself bound in spiderweb, about to be feasted on by a gaggle of very large spiders. He uses his sword, Sting, to free himself from the web cocoon and kill the other gang of spiders. Bilbo then frees his friends and kills off the rest of the spiders, with the help of the magic ring, of course, after commanding his company to escape without him. He learns from this that even in the tightest situations, he can absorb the courage to defeat the task and conquer his foes.
At the Nadir, elixir theft. Bilbo's quest was to steal back the treasure that Smaug, the dragon, stole from Thror. In the climax of the story, Bilbo instructed a bird to notify Bard of Smaug's one weak point. The bird followed through and told Bard, who was then able to fight and successfully kill Smaug with a bow and arrow. Bilbo and the dwarves were then notified that Smaug had been killed, but also that the men and the widows wanted a portion of the treasure as well, which ended in a bloody fight that included several other armies, not including Saruman's armies. After the fight, Bilbo and the dwarves stole back the treasure, and the story ended.
Return of the Hobbitses, the nasty, filthy Hobbitses. Bilbo is different because he gained courage and valor by saving the dwarves from various dangers like Gollum.
Restoration, huh? In order to restore his world, Bilbo pierces against a Thorin, who dies from the final battle, and with his pony and Gandalf at his side, Bilbo finally makes the long journey to home, his hole under the earth, the Shire, bringing him only a very small portion of the treasure he hoped to recover.
Potatoes.